Okay, so when I was in India, sorry, I was making flight reservations all morning. When I was in Mexico, one of my friends had me watch a documentary on the internet. I believe the title was called Insider's Job. It's an American documentary and it won an Oscar, but it is about the financial crash that happened a couple of years ago and what came before it and during it and the repercussions for it. And it was fascinating to listen to the interviews of the people involved, you know, many from financial institutions and government, and then also to watch. They listed everybody who refused to be interviewed for the documentary as well, many of the financial advisors. And one thing that really came across that was so clearly in the film was people's lying and dishonesty. It was very clear that the financial investors were selling the subprime loans knowing they would fail and insuring themselves against that failure so that they not only made money selling the loans but on the insurance when they collapsed. So, you know, these are the people who have a good education, who supposedly have everything going for them, who are the leaders in society. And their lack of ethical conduct is something that affects not only them, but the entire country. At the end of the film, they just kind of did a brief review of what is happening to the U.S. and as a result, all of the global markets because of these people's actions, and how detrimentally it has affected the country in many, many areas, so that the country's really going downhill. Because, as we know, a lot of these budget cuts that they're doing now are a result of the financial crash that made, you know, the government have to bail out the financial institutions. So here we're coming back to the importance of ethical conduct and, you know, the repercussions of when even just a few people who have a lot of power don't act ethically, and the scope of how many people suffer because of it. So how many Americans have lost their homes and lost their jobs, but also people around the world who have lost their homes and lost their jobs. And, you know, how important it is for us to think about our ethical conduct, not only how it affects us in this life, but how it affects other living beings, and really caring about the effect of our actions on others, how important that is, and to think about the effect of our actions in future lives too. Because if you look in these three ways, what's very interesting is most of the prime people, in fact, I think it said all of them, none of them have gone to prison for it, which is outrageous, you know. Of course, some of them are now in the government. They've, their companies collapsed and they were appointed as government people in the Treasury Department or in other departments. It's really quite shocking. But the point is that they may not have gone to prison in this life, but in terms of their effects on others and their karmic effects on themselves, you know, creating the cause to be born in the hungry ghost realm and to be born, you know, with incredible poverty in the future. That's still there. Hopefully, some of them will get arrested and get some prison sentences, not because and I'm saying that not because I want revenge. I don't want revenge. What's done is done. But I don't want these people to have power to continue to cheat and lie and steal, you know? So to protect them from their own greed that causes them to create more negative karma. So, you know, when we talk in Buddhist practice about the importance of ethical conduct and about how ethical conduct is the foundation of our practice, this is a really good example of it. Yeah. So I will try and get the URL. I think everybody in the Abbey should watch this. And it's just amazing to watch these people, you know, when they're questioned by the press. But also, there's it shows some footage from congressional hearings where the Congress is asking them, and how they just blithely say, oh no, I don't see any problem with that kind of thing, when it's very clear that it's problematic, you know? And also the whole thing that a lot of these things were given very good financial ratings, AAA ratings, when even the rating companies knew that they were subprime and they were going to fail. Yeah? So you have so many people involved, and just out of their own greed. The film shows views of their estates with their swimming pools and enormous things. But, you know, for what? You know, you get a little bit of pleasure having your own swimming pool. You know, maybe you feel like a success, but, you know, how does it affect your own self-esteem that you're rich, so you're successful, but it's on the basis of having cheated others? Yeah. So how do you be peaceful with yourself when you go to bed at night? You know, and for what price to consider oneself successful? Yeah. So, you know, I'm not saying this to blame other people like we're innocent, but to show that, you know, we should all apply this to our own practice too. Yeah. And what was the one we learned in grade school about George Washington, who chopped down the cherry tree and admitted it? Yeah, so don't tell a lie. So there's something to it, you know. You sleep better at night. Yeah, when you die, you don't worry about, you know, your future rebirth. Yeah, and you don't worry this lifetime about people finding out the nasty things that you've done. Okay.